During counseling, my wife said, "Everyone says I'm too good for him." I said, "Everyone's right." The session ended early. When she got home, her keys didn't work. We'd been married 6 years. 6 years of me working in logistics management, pulling in around 60 grand. Not rich, but stable enough to handle bills and save a little. That was never enough for her. She came from money. Her dad owned a consulting firm. Her mom did charity events. The criticism started small. Comments about my job being just okay compared to her friends' husbands in finance. Jokes about my 10-year-old truck while her friend's husband leased new SUVs. Little digs that accumulated like compound interest. At her company holiday party last December, she introduced me to coworkers with, "This is my husband. He does logistics stuff." When someone asked what I did exactly, she jumped in before I could answer. "It's complicated. Basically warehouse management." I managed supply chains for a mid-sized company. It wasn't glamorous, but it sure as hell wasn't warehouse management. When I corrected her, she laughed it off like I was being sensitive. That became the pattern. Every social event, every family dinner, she found ways to diminish me. Her father would ask pointed questions about my career trajectory over Sunday dinners. Her mother would make sympathetic comments about how different our backgrounds were, and my wife would just sit there, sometimes even piling on. 3 months ago at a backyard barbecue, one of her friends said loud enough for everyone to hear, "You're so patient with him." My wife laughed and responded, "Someone has to be." That night in the car, I asked what that meant. She acted confused, said I was reading too much into a joke. When I pressed, she got defensive. Maybe if you were more ambitious, people wouldn't see you as a project. A project, that's what I was to her. 2 weeks later, she suggested couples therapy. "I think it would help you understand how your attitude affects our marriage. Not our issues, my attitude." The therapist asked what brought us in. My wife talked for 20 minutes about how I wasn't emotionally available, how I didn't support her social life, how I made her feel stuck. Then she said it. "Everyone keeps telling me I could do better, and I keep defending him, but maybe they're right." The room went quiet. The therapist looked uncomfortable. My wife seemed to realize what she'd said and tried to backtrack. "I mean, I don't think that, but other people—" I cut her off. "Everyone says you're too good for me?" She hesitated. "Some people have mentioned—" "So everyone's right." Her face went pale. The therapist leaned forward, trying to de-escalate. "Let's take a moment." I stood up. "We're done here." I drove straight home, changed the locks on both doors, and packed her essentials in storage bins. Clothes, toiletries, laptop, chargers. Stacked them neatly in the garage. Then I wrote a note on notebook paper. "Be too good for someone else." When she got home and her key didn't work, she knocked, confused and frustrated. I opened the door and pointed to the garage. "Your stuff's in there. You can arrange to pick up the rest later this week." "You can't just lock me out of my own house," she said. "My house. Bought it before we met. Title's in my name." She tried everything over the following days. Showed up at 6 a.m. banging on the door. Had her father try to intimidate me in my driveway. Started a social media campaign about narcissists and emotional abuse. Even called my boss claiming I had performance issues and needed time off. My attorney sent a cease and desist. Her attorney finally made contact 2 days later, and we hammered out a clean settlement. 50-50 split of our joint savings. No claim to the house. No alimony. No ongoing obligations. She made one last attempt 3 weeks into the process. Showed up at the diner where I ate lunch, looking vulnerable in a sweatshirt with no makeup. "I know I was wrong," she said. "Can we try again?" "No, but we were good together once." "We were never good together. I was just too focused on trying to make you happy to notice how unhappy I was." 4 weeks later, I sat in a conference room signing the final divorce papers. She wasn't there. Had signed remotely. My attorney slid the documents across the table. "That's it. You're officially divorced." I felt nothing. No relief, no sadness, no anger, just normal. That evening, I sat on my back porch with a beer, looking at the yard. The fence I'd painted looked good. Grass was trimmed. Everything in order.